On the table today, I'll be discussing the real estate market in 2021 and the trends I think are important to watch in this current market. I'll also be covering what I expect for the upcoming 2022 market and how investors can best prepare for that market, as well as discussing if there are hot times for the market throughout the year. With that being said, let's get started. Hi, I'm Victor Maas, real estate attorney, broker, and investor, but no one really cares. What they care about is that I'm a problem solver. So that's what I do for a living, is solve problems.
I'm going to show you to find deals you never even knew existed.
Deals are everywhere, but you got to get off your butt.
One deal is all it takes to change your life. Victor freaking Maas, that's right.
Today we have Rick Rodriguez, real estate investor and real estate broker. Are you a broker?
Yeah.
Now you are.
Yes.
Congratulations,
Thank you.
man. All right. Tell us about yourself, Rick. Where are you from?
I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I have a marketing and business degree from UTSA. I graduated in 2001. I've been in real estate since 2011, and now I'm the CEO and owner of a property investment company. I'm also licensed by the state, and I'm also a contractor with new construction. So my company is diverse in real estate, several areas. We also work with a investor portfolio, in which case we represent investors and we invest their money into returns also.
So, in other words, he stays pretty busy with real estate. That's for sure.
Yes.
Now, you got your wife. You just got married a few months ago?
Yes, I did. Adriana is my wife, and she's the vice president of operations for the company. I'm actually the CEO and the CFO. We were partners, and I trained her for a while back, and as we got married, we expanded the business. Now she can take some of the stuff off. I was as far as I could get on my own, but this business doesn't have boundaries. You can go as far as you want to. It depends on the individual, like you always tell everybody else.
I love that. Seriously, a lot of investors don't realize that there is no limit. You can do as many deals as you want or as few deals as you want. They can be very profitable if you have a game plan. So Rick, how was the year 2020 for you as real estate investor, broker, considering that COVID's really happened in March of 2020? How did the rest of the year work out for you as an investor or broker?
Okay, and I'm going to go into two different areas. Okay, besides being an investor, I'm licensed. I'll also do general real estate. So I'm going to list houses for people and sell them, or maybe represent them in buying a house. Because we build new houses and flip houses and everything, I'm selling all of these houses. Now, in 2020, it carried on as a seller's market still. And the market finds equilibrium when there's 6 months of inventory. Right now, we're down about less than two months. Traditionally, it's never gone below 3.1. The reason is, and you're asking about how COVID affected it. A lot of people didn't want anybody coming in their houses, and so they stopped putting houses on the market. That changed everything, and that reduced inventory and made it difficult. The most difficult right now is for buyers. They're having trouble finding a house. I think you know Kimberly Howe, right?
I do.
Kimberly and Dave Taylor, actually big brokers in San Antonio. They sold a $1 million house, and even they couldn't find a house, had to stay in a hotel for a few months. That's how difficult it is to find a home.
Wow.
Now that's good news for sellers, and it's been difficult for buyers. In the investment area, when COVID hit, a lot of people panicked. There was hard money lenders that stopped lending money for 30 days. Investors stopped buying homes for 30 days. My company, we got aggressive. We just said, okay, the competition went away. Okay, we don't need the money, we got the cash. So for 30 days, we were just that little small area where you can steal something, which is difficult in this time.
Right.
So as far as we're concerned, Victor, I learned a lot from the book, Who Moved My Cheese? Okay, so when people say, oh, it's COVID, you can't do this. Oh, it's Christmas, it's slow. I think you're making excuses to fail.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. And so I think we did very well. We had to change strategies. We had to diversify more. We had to get creative with financing. But when you do all of these things that you try to teach everybody and stuff like that and treat it like a business and not something on the side, you can figure these things out.
You know, a lot of investors don't realize you have to adapt to the ever-changing landscape. You know, when things are going bad, like people can't buy homes or they're not selling, it's usually when you need to get your most aggressive, because there's a lot of deals out there if you just know where to look. But honestly, 2020 ended up being a really good year for us. We did quite a few deals, not as much as we normally do, but the quality per deal was amazing. So it really, you know, was awesome in real estate. I remember listing a property earlier this year thinking there's no way I'm gonna get more than 200. I got 235. I was like, what
I remember
the
that.
heck,
I remember
man?
that.
Yeah, I mean, that deal cleared like 150 for us. That was just stupid money. But 2021 is going really good for us. I hope it's going very well for you. I believe it is. But one of the biggest problems we've run into this year, I've noticed, is the supply chain. You build houses from the ground up. Have you had problems doing that?
No, and our business model is a little bit different. So as a CEO of my company, my job is to acquire acquisitions or we die. And with the fact that there was not a lot of inventory and it started going back down, unlike your business, it's very consistent, okay? A lot of these wholesalers, just like the REO agents, it's like this all the time. And so inventory started going away. So we decided to go into an area that had the demand. Supply and demand means everything. And so we built first-time home buyer houses. We stay under 200. We stay we're looking for the husband who's 27, the wife who's 25, and they want to have a second child. But with costs going up so much, wages didn't follow it.
Right.
So this market has a big demand, but there's no supply. When we couple that, Victor, with the smaller of the flip and everything, that kept us consistent going through. Right now we got the framing up on one, and they just poured cement on 2 more yesterday. So our goal, and I know you like to talk about people putting goals, which you'll probably bring up in a minute.
Absolutely.
Our goal is to do 4 every 6 months or do 8 in a 12-month calendar,
Nice.
along with the other stuff. And it's just what Victor's said before in his classes. You have to have a plan. Is your plan based on an income? Is your plan based on units? And ours is based on units, because you do the units, the money's going to come.
So if you do 8 units a year, you're averaging what, 25,000 net profit per deal? Because they're not big home run deals, but they keep you busy. That's 200,000 a year. Is that correct?
Yeah, but here's the thing with me, because I'm licensed, and I have investors that put the money in. I get all 8 listings,
And it doesn't cost you anything to borrow the money.
and I get $4,000 for each one just to manage the project. So, so the money's coming up in different areas. Now, some of them will be my own, but by getting these investors to put this money in and doing all of these, now I get $1 million worth of listings also.
We call that OPM, other people's money.
Right.
So Rick, what were your investment goals going into 2021?
Well, and the thing about my goals, Victor, is I don't put a monetary goal. I put a unit and volume goal.
Got it.
Okay, because I was raised by my father, that if you work hard, the money's going to come. And I'll be honest with you, Victor, sometimes I look at stuff and I don't even, it's not till later on I go, oh, I made how much? You know, and so when you're working hard and doing your numbers, you'll just be surprised when it comes in. So my goals are actually around 24 to 36 units a year. Some will be my own investments, some will be general real estate. Every time I buy a property for somebody, I said, you owe me $3,000. And then I want your listing. And then I go 50% of the net on the rehab because they're not here. So my goals are based on numbers. And then when I look up, Victor, the money's pretty good.
Gotcha. So Rick, there's always this thing with me that most people have no plans to get deals, no plans except this is their marketing plan right here is to pray for a deal. What actions do you take to get deals, units?
Okay, so I don't have a business model where I go out to wholesale. I just that's something that we don't fit into there. We don't have, that's not what we do. So I don't like to pray. I mean, I wouldn't be successful if I was just sitting around and praying.
For
But
deals.
right, but I'll go out and work with wholesalers. I've got about 6 of them I talk to. I've got meetings with some of them. I also pulled the list for the tax people that are behind, and I do have a mail out, which you do. So I have a campaign going on with that. I opened up another DBA so it doesn't look like I'm like everybody else. Mine is, we're here to home solutions, not realty. Get creative with it. Tax lien certificates have worked, but it's not what you want to put everything in downtown. I've stolen a couple of deals, but I'll just get them from everywhere, Victor. I can't just find one place only, or I wouldn't be successful. Now, in your case, you're very successful in what you do, but I've had to get more creative.
Well, I can tell you this much. When I first got started, I focused strictly on pre-foreclosures as a lead source. And I'd work them, and I would not get distracted with this idea or this idea. And I was very successful at it. And I wasn't trying to get 100 deals a year. Honestly, a good year for any investor who's watching it should be 8 to 10 deals a year. And that you can make a great living doing that. But most investors are trying to do 100 things. They're trying to have the secret sauce out there. You know what the secret sauce is? I don't know if you agree with me or not. Is just hard work at trying to talk to sellers and find the deals and make a deal happen. And the good news is you don't have to work 100 hours a week. You can work 2 hours a week and do a deal a week if you just know where the sources are at. And my goal, I don't know about yours, but mine is, well, yours is actually about 24, 36, I apologize. Mine is honestly 12 to 20 deals a year. That's it. And when it's all said and done, it's really good money. Me doing this podcast or this audio here, me doing the monthly meetings, the lunch and learns, the general meetings, that's another form of marketing to have people bring me deals. So I'm trying to create my own army of bird dogs, just like
Yes.
you have an army of wholesalers
Yes.
that bring you deals. But I've never bought a deal at the courthouse steps. You do. So what works for one person may not work for another. And there's so many ways to find deals out there. So I really enjoy this business because there's not just one way to make money in this business.
And I think the reason that my number is higher is because, I'll give you an example. I had someone call me yesterday and say, hey, Rick, you remember you sold me this house in 2015 and I want to sell it. Now, my commission is probably only going to be $5,000, but when we do one of our deals, they're big. So I take all those little bitty deals too, and that's probably the only reason my number is higher, because of those. But the money you make on yours is what I make on some of mine. But like I said, the general real estate fits in. That's why the numbers are like that.
We recently, you recently listed a property on the MLS. It's in the Converse property, the burnt house. How much are you all in on that property? Acquisition, 35 plus rehab, everything. What do you think you're all in?
Well, we had some problems, unforeseen problems after we got it, in foundation and the underground plumbing and so forth and so on. So we actually wound up putting in more than I thought. But when it was all said and done with the land acquisition, we were in at 116 and it just priced for 175.
Very nice. So that should be a good, Christmas for you, just from that one deal alone.
Yeah, well, we've got seller's cost to take care of, which is about 17,000. And then, like I said, yeah, we should make about 33 on it.
30 is a good day, any day for rehabbing home, especially when using other people's money
Right.
to do these deals.
Right, and so, and then, I'll split half of it with my father. I've got several people put money in when we got like 800,000 or so, but they just put the money in. I think they're going to be more confident. For any of you that are realtors or listening to this, when you get investment in your own and you're doing this by yourself, the people are going to be more confident because you put your own money in, and they're going to rely on you more and be more trustworthy and bring you some cash and ask you for some deals.
There you go. All right, so we're going to describe how real estate investing market is at this point through 2021. We're recording this at the end of September of 2021, so 9 months through the year. I don't know how you feel about it, but for me, the real estate market has been really good this year because you said it earlier. The supply is so low this year that properties that used to make 20 now can make 40, or they used to make 40 now can make 60 on a wholesale. It's just silly out there. Have you noticed that as a big thing for 2021, that it's getting more expensive to buy? or easier to buy properties this year?
It's getting more difficult, and I'll tell you why. There's people out there that don't know what they're doing, and it's like they're overpaying for properties, and they're believing the comps of some of the wholesalers that they're not right. Okay, I've seen them before. I go, why would you put a 4.2 in here? This is a 3.2, and then why are you putting 1981 when this is 1995? I mean, so. And they're messing up the market, and they're overpaying. They're like at the auction, they're overpaying for stuff.
Absolutely.
And so, the thing about us is that, and I'll just say, while we do make mistakes in this business, we've never had a deal that's lost money. And the thing about it is, Victor, when we track in 5-figure return minimums, so if I make somebody 8,000, we see it as a failure. So we're not talking about breaking even. We're not talking about losing money. If I make you 8 or 9 grand, we failed you. So we have a formula like you do, and sometimes I'll find 3 houses in 2 weeks. Sometimes I won't find nothing for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And so the point is to stick to your guns, get your numbers right, and work harder to go get them. But it's been a little bit more difficult this year for us.
So a lot of folks stop working kind of the last 3 months of the year. The holiday seasons are coming upon us, especially the last 2 months of the year. I honestly think that is sometimes the best time of the year to buy, because people need money for holidays and gifts and travel, and you can usually pick up some great deals. And if you hold on to it, let's say you buy it in December, you start rehabbing it in January and February. By March, you can put it back on the market and make a good amount of profit. Do you like to buy in the holidays, or are you going to kind of trend down?
Oh, no. We're buying 365. We buy all the time, 365. And some realtors, old school realtors, will say, oh, well, this is December, and this is the slow time of the year. And I always tell them this. When you go hunting, deer hunting, and it's windy and cold, the hunters don't go out there because the deers are laying in the brush. The professionals, the good guys, they get on their hands and knees with a bow and arrow and they go get them. The deer are still there. Okay, and that's the analogy I like to use for this. The deals are still there. Just because it's December and all this doesn't mean anything. That's when you can still get good deals all the time.
Absolutely. Everybody wants to party, but very few people actually want to work when it's that time. You know, whether it's last night or this past weekend, I'm out looking at deals. I was showing you a property on Sunday, on a property that we're trying to buy today, in fact, and nobody wants to work on Sundays. They're watching the football games. No, I'm looking at properties, especially evenings and weekends. I get a lot of texts and calls evenings and weekends, and that's usually the best time because nobody wants to work during those times. They want, 9 to 5, and that's it. It's 5 to 1. They're done. They want to think about work. Me, that's when I really started thinking about work. How do you think the market will look in 22? Any major changes you expect? I don't expect anything to change. I think things are going to be the same, if not better, for investors.
I think there may be one change, and you know what? I'm like you. I like to forecast 6 months out in front. I like to say that I can see 6 months from here. As a marketing major, you can see marketing changes. If you look for the signs, you can be ready. They're just saying whatever you do today will show up in 6 months. Whatever you don't do today is going to show up in 6 months. So when you look at the eviction memorandum and you understand that they're going to start the foreclosure, you tell everybody the foreclosures are coming. And while you don't sit here and go, I'm going to wait for that foreclosure, you keep working. I'm not sure what the changes will be, but there's going to be some foreclosures coming up, like you said. And I don't know if it'll be like it was in 2012 when we had 9 months of inventory and they were just letting so many out a month, especially HUD, so that they didn't bring the market down even more. But for years we were stealing stuff. I mean, grabbing them, stealing them as much as we could. I don't anticipate that, but there's got to be some change coming up if that's going to happen.
I read a statistic that 19-20% of the people in our area are behind on their mortgages. And so that's going to have an effect as well. So I think a lot of foreclosures are going to start occurring at the beginning of the year. So people need to learn how the foreclosure processes work. And not only how they work, but how you can actually buy them before they go to the auction. Because I joke, and you're the auction guy, but I'm not. I often say the auctions are where the suckers go to buy. That's just my silly opinion, of course.
I would like to say one thing here to give people advice of what they're trying to do. Okay, so that gives you statistics of what we've said about this market. But like Victor has said before, you have to go out and do this. I mean, there's mistakes of overthinking stuff. Like we bought everything during COVID when everybody stopped. Let me tell you what everybody's scared. When you have fear, fear is of the unknown. When you educate yourself and you get educated and there is no unknown, the fear goes away. People want to skip the classes and not do it. I take continuing education. I do all this. Victor offers boot camp classes, takes you out. These deals make us $20,000, $25,000, $30,000. And so if you want to go to the next level, invest in yourself, invest in these classes, because one deal pays you back for everything. People are born smart, but nobody is born educated.
Very nice. I've never heard that one. It's pretty good. All right, one of the fun things about Rick is he loves to tell jokes. So I had a special joke for Rick. I'm going to put him on the spot. Let's see how long it takes him to answer this.
All right?
All right, so how many months of the year have 28 days in it?
1. Oh no, it's 12. 12. That's almost like the guy, what weighs more, a pound of water or a pound of feathers?
The same.
Yeah.
But listen,
Thank you for having me.
you're welcome. If you've thought about doing real estate investing, you're listening to this or watching this, go to Saria.com or go to The Victor Maas Show or just TheVictorMaas.com, and we will show you how you can get started in real estate investing. The reason I want you guys to get educated is I want to partner with you. I want to be your attorney to do your closings. So I'm going to tell you something that a lot of people won't tell you. There are more deals out there than you could ever imagine, and all it takes is one deal to change your life. And we're here to help. Go to our website, TheVictorMaas.com. As always, thank you for watching. For more real estate investment and legal real estate content, please subscribe to our channel. Please follow me on social media, which you can find linked in the description below. Don't forget to visit TheVictorMaas.com, where you can register for coaching and my future events. To listen to the podcast, please search for The Victor Maas Real Estate Show, wherever you listen to podcasts. Also, link below. Until next time, this is Victor Maas, signing off. Take care.